Your lightsaber, take it away.
Wow, there's a lot of people in here. Oof, okay. My story with Christ started with me going to church every week with my mom and my dad and my sister. And from then, I just kind of felt like I didn't really have a place, and I felt like I didn't really have a connection with God, and I just kind of felt lost, and I didn't know what to do, and I just was in this void. Like, I felt like I had a hole in my heart, and that couldn't be filled because of how I felt. And I kept going, and I kept going, and it just didn't really work out for me. And I started looking to other things to make me happy, like maybe it was an obsession with a TV show, or a guy, or a friend, or something like that. And I just still couldn't find anything to make me happy. And one day, my mom brought up the idea of trying High Point, and I went and I loved it. I met some people new that were amazing, and they were so sweet to me. And I also had a few friends there from school that I connected with. And I just loved High Point. I was in 4th grade, and I've been attending ever since. And from then, I just kind of started connecting until my mom, she told us to get in the car one day over spring break last year. And we were just driving, and I can remember sitting in the seat, just like, what's going on? And I can remember me just listening to my music, like the kid I was. And I just remember the feeling of the car and how everything was just kind of awkward, you know. And we drove up to a therapist office, and my mom and dad went into a room, and my sister and I were just kind of sitting in the lobby, just kind of talking to each other, like, what do you think's gonna happen? We didn't know, because our parents didn't tell us. And me and my sister walked in there after their little meeting for my mom and my dad to tell me that they were getting divorced. And that really was a place in my life where I didn't know what to do, and I didn't know how to react. I was sad, I was crying. I felt like there was no hope, and I didn't know what to do. My sister didn't know what to do, and I didn't want to go into this spiral of thoughts, and I did, and I didn't want to because I had a sister that is younger than me, and I didn't want to fall and then her have to be there for herself, because I wouldn't want that either. So I started hanging out with the wrong group of people, and I started just doing things that I shouldn't and saying things that weren't right, and I didn't know what to do. And one time my mom came to me, and we had a discussion about how maybe I need to get my life back on track, and I need to stop being sad and thinking of what other people think of me. And I started going back to church, and after that I just kind of realized, oh, maybe this is what I need to start doing instead of hanging out with these people or doing this, or filling my soul with things that it didn't need. So I started going back to church, as I said before, and I really connected then, and I really felt like I had hope, and I felt like I felt like I had a place when I didn't. And I prayed about things, like I prayed to find some friends, and I prayed to, meet some people that would help me through it. And I got my best friend Mac, who's sitting in the second row, and she helped me through so much, and she was there for me every step of the way. And that was in 6th grade, end of 6th grade. And I also have a new group of friends that I'm hanging around that also make me really happy, and they were the reason I'm up here today. When I just look back on it like, wow, I was sitting there sad and lonely, and now I'm here, and there's so much that God can do to change a person, no matter what people think of you, like if they think you're fake, or if they think that you're not worthy just know that God is there for you every single step of the way, and don't rely on those things to keep you going. Just rely that God is there for you no matter what. And the verse that I wanted to share tonight was Isaiah 41:10. Have no fear, for I am with you. Do not be looking about in trouble, for I am your God. I will give you strength, yes, and I will be your helper, yes, and my true right hand will be your support. And with that being said, if you ever feel like you're in a situation where you don't have hope, and if you feel like you're alone, just go to the Bible. Sometimes you can just flip through it and just find something there. And that's actually how I found this verse. I just opened my Bible and pointed, and it was right there. And I felt in that moment that God was with me, and I felt like everything was going to be okay. And now, I still slip up. I'm human. But God has helped me through so much, and I'm just so thankful for this opportunity to talk to you all about this. Thank you to my crew group, number one, because y'all are amazing. I love all of you so much. My friends over here, too. See a few. Hey, Sky. Parker. I want to thank Parker for being like the best person to talk to ever. He's helped me through a lot. And that's my story.
Thank you for sharing that. That was awesome. Hey, real quick, we're going to pray for Ava. But before we do that, sorry, I think I'm talking into both microphones. I'm going to turn this one off. Or maybe it's just mine. Cool. I just want to echo kind of what's been said tonight. I think we got it figured out. There we go. But seriously, the cool thing about the series, the cool thing about these students sharing is that the God of the universe is the ultimate storyteller. And that there is a God in heaven who is writing everyone's story. It's crazy to me to think that there are 8 billion and something people on the earth, and that the God of the universe is looking down at earth and knows every single person's story from start to finish because he wrote it. He weaves them in and out of each other, and he does things. He throws curveballs. He puts surprises in there. He does all this stuff. But you may be sitting here tonight, and you may not have ever thought about the idea that there's a God in heaven who wrote your story, who knew who you were going to be before you were ever born, who knows how your life's going to end up. He knows what's going to happen to you, who you are, how you're going to be like, how many hairs or not hairs that you have on your head, all of those things. He knows that stuff about you. And I know you may be sitting there saying, but Parker, I get that. Part of me thinks there's a God up there, but I don't deserve it. I don't deserve him to love me. I don't deserve what he's done for me. I'm a bad person. I think these thoughts. I've made these mistakes, all those things. The great thing about the invitation from God to you, the guy who wrote your story, the being, the God of the universe who wrote your story, the great thing about his invitation to you is it's not based on what you can do. There's nothing you can do to earn God's love. There's nothing you can do to be good enough for it. There's nothing that you can do to pay him back for it. So if you are one of the people in this room that are like Ava or like Leroy was, where they're at this point in their life where they said, hey, I'm empty and I'm going to go try to fill my emptiness with something else. And I don't know what that something else is for you. It could be TV, it could be a video game, it could be something that's harmful to you, it could be a bad relationship, it could be a bad habit, it could be anything like that. The great thing about God's grace is that it meets you right where you are. You don't do anything to deserve it, and that your Heavenly Father who made you and wrote your story, he loves you so much that he wants to invite you into a better story and a bigger story. So I pray that as you hear these stories for the rest of this series, that in the back of your mind that you know that there is a God who's inviting you into a bigger story. And some of you may have a relationship with God, and you just caught yourself, you're in this rut or this season of your life where you're living a less than story, and maybe you've made it all about you, you've made it all about, being selfish or how awesome you are or what you want right now. But I just want to encourage you that the God of the universe, he is writing an incredible story, and he wants you to be involved in it. And if you don't have a relationship with him, I hope that during this series that you start to ask some questions and start to get some answers, if it's with one of your small group leaders or myself or anybody. because there is a God who's waiting for you, and He has invited you into an incredible story. And I thank you for being bold enough to share yours and responding to that. That was awesome. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to pray for Ava, and then as I'm praying, the band's going to come out, and you guys, once we're done, if you'll just stay where you are, we're going to sing a song about God's grace and the cross and what He's done for us and how we don't deserve what God's done for us, but because He loves us so much, He did it anyway, which is an incredible song that we're going to sing together. But let's stick a hand out. We're going to pray for Ava, and then the band is going to play us out. God, we love you so much. Father, I thank you for Ava. God, I thank you for giving her just the boldness and the willingness to share her story. God, I thank you that you know how it's going to end. God, that you know what's left for her. So God, I pray that she would continue just out of hope and out of eagerness to spend more time with you, God, and walk step by step with you, that she would continue, God, just to seek after you, to seek your face, to obey you, God. When she gets tempted to get so distracted or infatuated with what's going on, God, drama, gossip, TV, you name it, God, that she would turn and put her focus on you. God, that's where life gets good. That's where the story gets great. That's where joy is found. So, Father, help us to do that. God, I thank you for the cross. I thank you that you offer all of us an invitation into a bigger story. And, God, I pray that you would be with us and be in our praise as we sing this to you now. It's your name I pray. Amen.